from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, viewers, as we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Adana Combi, and welcome to this morning show. And of course, it's a good day to give God thanks and praise for being in the land of the living.
Yes, good morning, Adana. And how are you?
I am good, and I'm so happy to see you, Julian.
Yes, Adana, I'm happy to see you here as well. It feels good to be back.
Yes, and it's good to have you back. It's
yes,
good to have
indeed,
you back.
Indeed. And, I want to say thank you to the viewers out there in the mix that would have reached out. And there's always that sense of love and checking in. Thank you so much. That kind of encouragement and inspiration certainly goes a long way.
Yes, we love you.
Yes,
we love you. You
well,
are loved.
We continue to give God thanks.
Yes, of course,
Every
in all
step
things,
of the way, indeed.
Things. That's right.
All right, viewers, at this point, we head straight on over to news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network. The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network. The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, half-inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Jade Monkey. We celebrate a living legend, Curtis Garant, the Outer International General Garant. Garanti. On the 6th of August, it's a celebration with the General Grant, and he's coming with his friends, Gordonite, Ziggy Rankin, Ice Sasha, and Prophet Benjamin. Your DJs, Trendsetter Goofy, and adjacent artistry, Dreads International. Admission only $100 at the door. You pay more. Get your tickets now at Jade Monkey Bar, Barcode, Happy Place Bar, and Pablo Supermarket. For more information, call 266-6626 or 366-0991. Follow us on Instagram at Jade Monkey Bar TBG. On Facebook at Jade Monkey Bar Tobago. It's a celebration with the General Grant on the 6th of August from 9 p.m. at the Jade Monkey. This event powered by Digicel, Carib, Cool Control Air Conditioning, and Blue Heron Establishment.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Thank you, Julian and Adana. I am Biana Brebner, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, 8 August 2023. On July 24, 2023, the United Nations formally declared August 11th as World Steel Pan Day. However, on Friday, the country will celebrate World Steel Pan Day in Woodford Square. The event will be hosted by Tobago, the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, the National Carnival Commission, the National Gas Company, and the East Port of Spain Development Company. There will be 11 single bands and 8 large bands performing from Piccadilly Street to Woodford Square from 5 p.m. Among them includes defending single band Panorama champions, San Juan Chord Masters, and large band Panorama champs BP Renegades. The celebration includes a march from the Massey Trinidad All-Stars Duke Street, Panyard, to Woodford Square with Tobago executives and band leaders. Nicholas Paul of Trinidad and Tobago won his second UCI World Championship silver medal yesterday. Paul lost the men's sprint final in 2 rides to the Olympic champion Harry Levinson, who earned his 6th World Sprint gold medal in a row. Paul started from the front and made an early ride in 1 ride, but couldn't hold up to the Dutchman, who piped him to his finish. Paul's attention will now shift to the Kirin tournament, which begins today. And finally, Machel Montano, the king of soca, has been awarded the keys to the city of Kingston, Jamaica, in honor of his musical career. Montano was honored as Jamaica celebrated Independence Day at the country's national stadium on August 6th. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness presented the citation to Montano, highlighting that both Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago were celebrating 61 years of independence this year. Holness reiterated that we are part of a Caribbean family, and one thing that joins us together as one people is music. And that concludes your news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Summerama, real steam for the summer at Standard. Is a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy, Standard. What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be beat like a hammer. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more. Standards have what you're searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beaten on quality and price. It's nice.
Are you looking for a place for your loved ones? Heavenly Care welcomes you. Located at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors, we offer a variety of services. These include doctor visitations, social activities, geriatric care, and much more. Contact us at 277-9595 or visit us at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors. At Heavenly Care, compassion is at the heart of all care.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. All right, Adana, I couldn't help the end up of the news there speaking about Machel Montano. And you know, while I may not be crazy artist-wise, I'm a lover of soca music. I love soca music. But this kind of recognition, I feel like it's so good within the Caribbean region. It's not at home. In fact, they say sometimes it's abroad where you get the kind of recognition when you're doing good work. How does it make you feel?
Well, I mean, as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago and somebody growing up knowing about his music and stuff like that, it does make me feel very proud to see that we are making indents in other parts of the region, other parts of the world, and that we are recognized on that type of platform. And of course, I know when I heard the name, I thought straight about just like, Juliet is going to love this, you know? But it really is, it really is something to be proud of, something noteworthy to be proud of.
Yeah, and Machel has come through that kind of journey that really excites you, especially if you are into the industry. And even if you're not and you're just a reveler and you enjoy soca, good music, carnival and the season, and it stands out particularly because, of the fact that you always hear soca will not necessarily be celebrated in Jamaica.
Right.
So to get to the point where he's actually the recipient of a top award, kudos and commendations going out to Machel Montano and the entire team out there. Adana, who do we have this morning on the rundown?
Right, so this morning we have, we'll be interviewing, of course, Mr. Ashwood Jack. He is one of our interviewees this morning, and he's talking about the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and Licensing Office in Tobago. We also have, I see, Michael Frank. He's going to be talking about the Tobago tourism, how it has been so far for the season. And bringing up the end, I see Mr. George Lickoff. Of course, we know he is the chairman of the task force for the Commonwealth Games. So those are who we have for you today on the rundown.
And persons I know are excited and have been enjoying the games out there in the mix from Black Rock, going on to the rugby field, and we continue to look forward to the updates that will be coming in that regard. But just before we go any further, we head on to our birthdays, sponsored by KFC.
This is your birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
Right, so we have a birthday here. This is Nikki Ann in Kent, and your birthday shout out is coming from your entire family, the Parks family in Signal Hill, and all of us here at Tobago Updates.
And we have on screen Avian Thomas. Avian Thomas, we want to wish you a happy birthday, and indeed God's continued blessings. This one is near and dear to my heart, Lavian, and I know she's tuned in this morning. Lavian Skeet, want to wish you a happy birthday and God's continued blessings coming from me, mommy, the entire family, wishing you a happy birthday, and we know that you will continue to celebrate not just, but the month of August, as you have said, so we look forward to that month-long celebrations.
Happy birthday, Lavian, from all of us here at Tobago Updates as well.
Birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
Welcome back. All right, and at this point, we're heading straight on into Tobago in Focus.
One of the major learning curves encountered during the COVID-19 pandemic was the increased use of innovation and technology to conduct daily functions. This major hurdle affected the country's education sector tremendously, with teachers, students and parents having to quickly find ways to continue teaching and learning using these means. Post-pandemic, the Division of Education, Research and Technology is finding ways to integrate online and in-person learning and teaching, thus establishing the Hybrid Education Committee.
A committee was put together, made up of persons within the Division of Education, principals, parents, etc., a large, varied stakeholder group, and we are working towards developing a very pragmatic policy guideline to help us to utilize all of the positive things that we got through the pandemic, along with our face-to-face.
This new initiative seeks to reduce teaching and learning loss due to several factors, such as unpredictable weather patterns or another pandemic situation. From early childhood to tertiary level education are represented on the committee with multi-departmental input and expertise from the division. Technical advisor from DIRTEC, Natasha Second, assured that this initiative is not just another talk shop, and the committee is well on its way to fulfill a seamless integration among all educational institutions on the island.
We wanted to look at all of the challenges and place a solution for each of them. So the guideline or the policy guidelines will meet all of the challenges that we could perceive of.
Ms. Second revealed that the committee, formed in April 2023, has a 6-month implementation deadline, which will include a pilot project in selected schools and the delivery of the completed policy and guidelines.
Yes, be careful.
Honey, I feel I'm going to start to cook, yes, because these children must be hungry now, right?
Oh, shucks. Oh. These plugs, oh my gosh.
Hey, Richard, hey, come from there. Come from there.
What's going on in here?
Oh God, boy.
What would you do if this happened to you? Dial 990 in case of fire emergencies and always have a serviceable fire extinguisher ready and available at all times.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates, and I am Adana Kumbi. And of course, today we're speaking with Mr. Michael Frank, and you would know him as Frankie, and he is the owner and operator of Frankie Tours. We're talking this morning about tourism, the season, how it has been, and we can look forward to. Good morning, Mr. Frank, and welcome to the program.
Good morning to viewers everywhere. Good to have you here.
Yes, it's nice for you to be on the program this morning. So tell us a little bit about how the tourist season has been so far. I know we have a lot of activities during this period on the island. So how has it been for you, for your business, other industries in the tourism sector, and what can we look forward to?
Well, I have to say that this year has surpassed all our data for the last 35 years.
Really?
Yep. It has been the busiest season we had, not just for the summer, but from January all the way back. We had a constant flow of people. It's a bumper season, just put it that way. It's one of the best seasons we had in a very, very long time. I was talking this morning to another fellow, and I just said, you know, we can actually tear up the data that we had for the last 35 years and start all over, because predominantly on May and June is our lowest peak. It hasn't been a low season. It hasn't had any low time. So I'm not sure how it would affect all the hotels, but from the general flow you can see from off the beaches, you know the percentage is way up there. I'm talking about 18-90% arrival. Mainly local tourism. Not so much international, but I would say maybe 60% local. Yeah, so.
Right, and that is remarkable to hear that you even want to tear up previous data. What do you think attributes for the increase, that rapid increase in tourists?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure, but I am thinking that maybe people have been cooped up so long from COVID that they need a break. And seeing that Tobago is the easy target, it's close, especially from Trinidad. It's safe, it's comfortable. I think a lot of people have made that choice just to come to Tobago. I would think that's one of the main reasons. I think the second reason is that Tobago is relatively cheap and easy, so it's a nice destination to go to.
And mostly safe, right? And you spoke mainly about domestic tourism. That's where the bulk of the income came from, domestic
Definitely.
tourism.
Yeah.
So from Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
I would think that seeing that we have such a large influx of people from Trinidad and the Caribbean, and not leaving the Caribbean, because we have a lot of Barbadians, a lot. And also we have a lot of people from Guyana and all the other Caribbeans combined, but Barbados and Trinidad, I think the most is coming from those two destinations. We should start targeting that local economy more because you can see the influx. I know there's always going to be a problem on the air bridge and the sea bridge, but if we could improve that, we're definitely going to improve the tourism. But overall, I think we're doing good.
Well, I really am happy to hear that. And of course, you made a point there about improving the air bridge and the sea bridge so that we could increase. But even with those challenges, you are saying that you've seen an increase in the tourism this year in your particular industry, right?
Well, I am kind of all-rounded guy. I don't just look at my point alone. I'm just looking at the general tourism. And the general tourism has definitely uptick. There was a major uptick in the general tourism. So, I mean, we don't just do boat trips. Remember, we are still doing island tour and car rentals and even some type of hotels and guest house. We don't directly have hotels and guest house, but of course we recommend. So we can see the uptick on that on all sides.
Right, because of course partnership, of course.
Yeah.
Right? I know you mentioned about some of the challenges being like the air bridge and the sea bridge. Can you identify other challenges or are there recommendations that you can make? Because you've said you can see up the data from the past. So something, of course, wasn't working too well in the past. But now, yes, COVID had everyone cooped up indoors. And now they have the flexibility to be outside and enjoy the outdoors. But what else can you recommend to continue right now the wavelength that we're on and to continue increasing the influx of tourists on the island of Tobago to enjoy what we have here in Tobago?
Well, I think the basis of people coming to Tobago is that we keep this country clean and safe. Once the country is clean and safe, we are on an upward trend. All we have to do is to maintain that, maintain good service. Remember, not because these people are local, you're not going to give them the same quality of say, like how you're going to do from the international market. We need to keep that service industry high. If we need to train Tobagonians and train the general public, let me do the training. But people have to maintain that level of good service, and that is what constantly brings back people. I mean, we are doing pretty good off, compared to some of the other operators. But that's all attributed to good service, good
Full Disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full Disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Exhale Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Are you flood ready? Monitor trusted sources for info. Wear protective gear when you clean up. Contact your insurance provider to assess the damage. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
Do something, Johnny.
Call
Do
fire,
something.
call fire, call
What's the
fire.
number? What's the number? What's the number? Oh, God.
An emergency, good afternoon. You said the building is on fire. Are there any persons trapped? 4 persons. What is the address of the call, ma'am? Number 4, Candy Drive, Pier Road. Can I have your name, please? Miss Bihari? Thank you, Miss Bihari. I'll be dispatching an appliance. Central Control from Fire Control.
Go ahead, Fire Control. Central Control is really over.
Central Control, have a plans and crew. Respond to our residential fire. Same is at number 4, Candy Drive, Pier Road, Chabonas. 4 persons are trapped, 2 adults, 2 children. They were unable to make contact with fire service, so she called on their behalf.
Transmission received loud and clear. Operator at Central Control, 3463. Firefighter Wiley, Central Control out.
Create an evacuation plan for you and your family and practice your escape. Always ensure you have more than one way to safely exit your home. Your lives may depend on it.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers. We're just at about 7:40 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. In this segment, viewers, we are chatting with Ashwood Jack, former minority leader of the Tobago House of Assembly. And this morning we're speaking the TTPS licensing office happening here in Tobago. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Julia, and good morning, viewers of Tobago Update. Whether you're in Tobago, Trinidad, anywhere in the world, let me thank you for the opportunity to be here to have a chat on these matters.
Certainly. So we are once again faced with the situation. And, I have to posture it like that on the basis that this is the way, by and large, the majority of persons in Tobago feel. Seriously inconvenienced under the circumstances. We would have seen efforts this time around also engaging or partnering or connecting, whatever we want to describe it as, with the TTPS as part of the efforts out there in terms of the licensing officers being brought across. Let's start, I want us to start from the perspective in the context. Why does this seem so extreme and so new and so excessive in Tobago for someone who has resided here for a number of years within our operations in Tobago?
I've heard the issue of it being new and stuff, but I want to say it's probably new under the new dispensation. But Tobago have always been put in its place. There've always been an attempt to put Tobago in its place. You know, when I saw the contingent, or whether you want to call them battalion, of soldiers on the way to Tobago on the weekend, and I saw all that, I sat down at home and I smiled, and I had a conversation with a couple of people, and I was saying to them, the more things change, the more it remains the same. For those of us who have been students of politics and students of Tobago's history, we have seen this before. How did, I asked this question, how did the Tobago Army Camp or Camp Signal Hill come into force? And that came at a time when Tobagonians were rallying for internal self-government. Before the 1980 election, when all you were hearing in the space is that we need internal self-government, we need our freedom, we need to be able to make decisions that affect us. And then all of a sudden, boom, an army camp was set up on the Crown Point Airport. It's like, hey, keep you in check. And that is what morphed itself into what is now called Camp Signal Hill. Of course, at that time they was talking about Robinson, bringing the arms catch and bringing arms to Tobago to overthrow the government and stuff. And so when I see what is happening today, I'm seeing the old playbook. Tobago have always been made to be put in its place. I go 76. When the issue of 76 election, when the then PNM, Wilbert Winchester, and I was in the West, and Basil Pitt lost to Robinson Murray, the Tobago administration was dismantled. The Ministry of Tobago Affairs shut down. Members, employees, public servants sent to Trinidad. People couldn't get paid for months. And so what we're seeing is it coming 180. It come, in this case 360, come all the way back around. And I'm saying to people, we need to be careful, because I am hearing people defending this stuff under the guise that is one Trinidad and Tobago.
And that's the next area I wanted to touch on. As you speak about one Trinidad and Tobago, I know that part of the Tobago House of Assembly's responsibility, while it does not treat with national security in terms of the TTPS, give us a little insight into the operations of licensing.
And that's what I was getting at. The Act number 40 of 1996 is clear on who has responsibility for what. The fifth schedule of the Act will tell you who has total responsibility. The sixth schedule will tell you what services should be provided in Tobago. Seventh schedule will tell you what your collaboration, right? And the fifth schedule gives you, it used to be 33, I think it's now 37, because labor and a couple others were added, because the Act says it could be added from time to time. Licensing office is the licensing department is a responsibility by law, because people need to understand the Tobago House of Assembly Act number 40 of 1996 is law. The Act number 39 is what sets up the Assembly. And well, I hear people talk about Act number 40 because it's the prescriptions. But the Act number 39 is that there shall be a Tobago House of Assembly, and that's the constitutional amendment. And then that is the force to Act number 40. Item 22 on Act number 40 is the licensing. And one would have expected that the respect for each other would be as such that we would be able to understand that the licensing is the responsibility of the Tobago House of Assembly. But the law also goes on to say nothing in this act prevents mutual consent between a minister and a secretary. But this is not consent. And nobody tells me the minister don't know. Anybody who says that living in a bubble. Right? No license officer, whether it be the head of the licensing department or anybody else, could just take up and decide, I am going to Tobago, contrary to Act number 40, and his boss doesn't know. This goes all the way to the top. Everybody in the cabinet knows this.
So there have been joint efforts, and we saw coming on to updates here and speaking to the fact about working together to seek to do more, and the protection of Tobago, and a number of things that was stated by the joint forces appearing. What are your thoughts on that?
We see Tobago protection comes from Tobago's respect. You can't protect without respect. I want to say this to people, and because I know that there will always be people for and against, and I think sometimes they lack of knowledge. People are emotional. People don't understand that information must take precedent over emotion. When you have a situation where power have been given, you just cannot unilaterally take it back from people. And that is what's happening in Tobago. And people say, but it's one license office, we'll get into that. Hey, there's also one Ministry of Health, one Ministry of Education, one Ministry of Housing, one Ministry of Works. We must understand when we see creeping stuff happening. Today is his license office. What happens if tomorrow the Ministry of Health decide we are coming and taking over the hospital and the health facilities in Tobago? What happens then? What happens if the Ministry of Housing decide we're taking over housing in Tobago? What happens if the Ministry of Works decides we're taking over the work of works in Tobago? I mean, we have seen in 2000, in 2000, I was threatened with arrest when I was then at Works. When the then Pandey administration decided, when they and Hutchery were having their banter, okay, you plain man, we come into Tobago and we paving road. And I was at Works and we block the road. We park up our vehicles where they were about to pave. That is near to the Chauvin lights. And I didn't send the workers to it. I let it. And the then senior superintendent, another Tobago at the time, came and threatened to lock me up if I didn't ask the equipment to move. I mean, I never make a jail, and I didn't ask them to move. Because I understand that people have to stand up for something. So what we're seeing here is a straight case of, I'm saying to Tobagonians, we need to be careful not to sanction some of these things because it will erode the autonomy that so many Tobago, I mean, Robinson must be turning in his grave. I could imagine who tries behavior, thinking this, all the things we have gone through. People like me who doing this since I'm 11 years old. To me, this is uncomfortable. I have not spoken, if you notice, I come to this, I not speak the politics very often. But when you see things like this, you cannot stay silent because you don't know what is next. I think there's an African proverb that says they came from a brother, I did nothing, and they came from a neighbor, I did nothing. And when they came from me, there was no one to protect me. That is what is happening. If we stay silent, when they come for you, there will be no one to protect you.
Would you say under the circumstances that this is one of the reasons or that you support the stance and the posturing that the Chief Secretary has now taken
100%.
In relation to matters specific to
100%.
Tobago?
Somebody have to stand up, and he's the leader of Tobago. If he did not stand up, I would be disappointed. Listen, we are at a time that we're talking about autonomy, additional responsibility. How can you tell me that you're serious about additional responsibility when you are systematically eroding the responsibility that we have today? What is happening with the licensing when they just come to Tobago, no collaboration between the minister and the secretary? It's a clear indication of taking back of responsibility. I'm sure that we all have had our juntas in trial. We have been in trial long, sometimes often. Some of the oldest, most derelict vehicles you see on the road are in Trinidad. You see people tying up car door with a little piece of nylon rope, You see people driving car without door. You see, but yet the focus of attention is on Tobago. And people need to ask themselves, is this purely a situation of making the road safe? Or is it a situation of managing Tobago? Let me put you in your place because you're getting too big for your briefs. And I'm saying to Tobagoans, be careful with what we support. This transcends the politics. This has to do with the freedom of our people. And I don't know if it's fortuitous or if it's ironic that all this is happening around emancipation time. Something is wrong with that. Let me just make one other example to show how people could be, we could be devious. We have reverted the flights between Trinidad and Tobago back to 8:30. Island Crushers was a couple of weeks ago. And because of the number of high-ranking official children that comes to Island Crushers, we're having flight 11, 12 o'clock in the night. But Tobagoans will sleep on the airport in Piaco, and nobody comes to their rescue. And that alone tells you how the thinking is, we are in charge, and therefore, because the Constitution said that the cabinet is supreme, you people better behave yourself, or else we're going to take this from you. And Tobagonians, there are some Tobagonians here saying, well, you know, it's good for them. It's not about them. What happens if the government changes and the assembly changes and then the other administration decide we're not just doing to the licensing, we're doing to the works, we're doing with the health, we're doing with all the other stuff? What happens? What about if this administration decides we're not stopping at licensing, we're going to systematically erode all the other responsibilities of the Tobago House of Assembly? Then what is the use of the Tobago Assembly? And what is all this fight about? Tobago have to stand shoulder to shoulder on this matter. You know, there's a thing that says that you have to circle the wagon. We need to circle the wagon. And it is not about folly. Because some people think it. I don't like folly. There'll always be people. I mean, we crucify Jesus Christ. so there's always people who don't like. But this is not about the individual. Tobago need to understand that every time there's a non-PNM leader in Tobago, every gun is trailed because they tell themselves they must destroy the leadership. A.N.R. Robinson thief all the $2 bill. Robinson was digging through Williams' office when Williams leave, and Williams a high science man, and Williams appear and catch him in the office. Hochoy Charles, too arrogant, he's Bokassa, ring bang, ada. Ashwood Jack, a pumpkin house. Farley. It's every time there's a leader that is not PNM, there's an attempt to destroy them in order to get back to doing Tobago what you want. And I'm saying to the Chief Secretary, you're young. But it does not mean that you have to cower to anyone. The office is of the office of the Chief Secretary. The office of the Chief Secretary, regardless of his age, regardless of what, carries the same power, regardless of who holds it.
All right. So we take a quick break, viewers. We want to remind you that you are viewing the Tobago Updates morning show and that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you flood ready? Review and update insurance coverage. Install floodgates and barriers. Create a family flood plan. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. This morning, we continue the conversation with Ashwood Jack, a former minority leader in the Tobago House of Assembly. And just before we went on the break, we began touching on a number of issues, and it's interesting that you raised the point. Today, it is the licensing office. Where will this go tomorrow in terms of the activities and the circumstance? The big question that has to be asked here, Ashwood, from where you sit, where to? Where do we see things going from here? How do we try to make the kind of change that many have clamored for, in fact, going beyond party politics in this instance, but really seeking to put Tobago as the focal point?
I've looked at where we are in Tobago, and the only solution to this problem is constitutional reform. It's the only solution to the problem. And the longer this takes, the more radical young Tobagonians will become. In the last couple of months, I have said to people that have come into contact with discussing Tobago and Tobago matters, how do we fix this? How do we do this? I have never seen more Tobagonians speak about secession than I'm seeing now, saying that this can't be repaired. We just have to go away. And I'm saying we need to be very careful that we don't push enough people into that direction. The constitutional reform that we have threatened to give Tobago, it is, and not quite a threat, because if you always promise something and you didn't do anything about it, then you're already threatening me. We need to fix the issue of the constitutional relationship between Trinidad and Tobago. This parent and child stuff have not worked. It have started, the battle for this started way back, with APT and all the way down the road, spending his own money to go to England to fight for the internal self-government of Tobago. And Tobagonians have to understand, hey, we might think we're small. We're a big island in the context of the Caribbean. St. Kitts and Nevis put together is smaller than Tobago. Barbados is 16 miles. Grenada, I think, is 7 or 8 miles bigger than Tobago. We are a big country. We are a big island in the context of the Caribbean. And we need to be treated with a certain amount of respect. This thing where anybody in Trinidad who holds a ministry or holds the reign of power thinks that Tobago is the little whipping boy that should be put in its place every time it speaks up, tells me that this relationship as it is today is not working. But then again, it's nothing new to me. When I came into the politics as an 11-year-old, it was by hearing Robinson speak in what is now called Republic Bank Car Park, the Uptown Car Park, about autonomy and the importance of autonomy. And that is what stirred my soul to get involved in the politics. And I would not stop. The last push for internal self-government, the motion, was brought in the assembly by me. I know the last administration made it look as if it was them. I brought the motion. And that is why, even when there was the issue of the People's Partnership, in the manifesto, I had them put in, it was the only way we would have become part of it. that Tobago must get its autonomy. Of course, remember, they were one vote short. The now Prime Minister, then opposition leader, said they will take no part in that debate. And that is why, for one vote, Tobago did not get the constitutional reform that it needed with all the change, lawmaking powers, policy formulation, implementation, additional finances, and all that. And I'm saying to people, even look at this act. You got to be careful. When you look at Act number 40, it speaks about mutual consent. It didn't say that a minister must talk down to it. The secretary who said the chief secretary, and that's why the chief secretary is treated in the way he's treated in terms of security and all that. It is meant to have elevate the office of chief secretary to a certain place. And that's why every time I hear people say chief secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, it bothers me, because there's no chief secretary in the Tobago House of Assembly. There's no prime minister of the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. So even these little things planted in the mind of people erodes it. There's not even a mayor of the Arima Borough Council. There's the mayor of Arima. There's the mayor of Port of Spain. There's the mayor of Point 14. And we have to get away. And even in the office of the chief secretary, I see information division calling the office, the chief secretary of Tobago or something. All those things add to the belittling of the office. And so people think that they can treat the office how they want. The official residence of the chief secretary was searched without there being any real reason. If you have found things on other persons, and then you could say, okay, it leads back to the chief secretary. But you went and searched the official residence of the chief secretary. That is to put you in your place. It's to say, hey, you're only chief secretary. Cool it. We have the power to search up your house. And Tobagonians, there are some Tobagonians who I see, oh, they never search any other chief secretary. And that is because the things that this chief secretary said, other chief secretaries didn't. And that the Houtray never moved into the official office. There are a number of stuff. Listen to how Houtray was the worst person in the world until they found some common ground with him. Listen how Robinson was the worst thing until he made Manning Prime Minister. It is always that, hey, once you're Tobagonian, or once you're trying to fight for Tobago, we will put you in your place. And that's why, look at all the chief secretaries. The only time Orville made noise is when Kamala was Prime Minister. After that, Cat took his tongue. The issue of internal self-government went underground. Not another word. And I'm saying to Tobagonians, listen, this transcends the issue of party politics. This is about Tobago's development. This is about Tobago's security, and not only in terms of murders and that kind of stuff, but security of tenure, the whole works. The land issue, how we raise taxes, how we spend our money, not going cap in hand every year begging for something that you deserve. You know, I have not become this emotional about an issue as I am now, and it is not about, as I said, it's not about the licensing department. It is about what could happen with all the players decide, with the help of their principal, which is whether it be the Prime Minister or the Cabinet, that we are eroding, systematically eroding the powers of the Tobago House of Assembly because we are Cabinet.
The House is currently, the Parliament, that is, and similarly the Tobago House of Assembly on recess. And once again, the new parliamentary term will commence, I think it is in September. The question is, we know that the bill that would have been before the Parliament, they have indicated that there can be a request that allows it to be forwarded to the next session of the Parliament. Yeah. Are you hopeful, or do you see the need for some demands to be coming from on the part of the Tobago House of Assembly and Tobago to really insist and to push, to make that push once again? Or are you thinking this is only a matter that will come up in focus, come closer to 2025?
This is another threat. I threaten to give you something. Any government who wants to fix the Tobago issue can fix it in one day. Well, one day in the lower house and then goes to the upper house. There have been 40 odd years of discussion Tobago needs the power to formulate and implement policy. It needs lawmaking powers over the things that are Tobago. It needs a definition of Tobago. Those are some of the major issues. And once that happens, then that THA can then pass its own laws. It can set up its own responsibilities. And so this going on so long, it's just a clear case of people saying, hey, you know, I'm going to promise you down to the last. Let's go back, 1980. Started in 1977 with Robinson carrying the motion for internal self-government. And I admonish every Tobagoan to read the motion, one of the most beautifully presented motions. It comes down to 79, 80 when finally a watered-down version of the Tobago House of Assembly Act, which was really the Counties Council Act with a very few changes, that came to be known as Act number 37 of 1980, that paid the members of the Tobago House of Assembly $1,000 something a month. You guys saw what you did. Then we had to fight to Act number 40 of 96. The then UNC was in power with Robinson and Palm. And they had to fight when the bill that went is not the act that came out, because they took out all the lawmaking, because the then PNM, inclusive of a Tobago senator, who then became chief secretary, decided they're not going to support this bill, right? And it came all the way down to 2013 when the bill was carried to the House, and another Tobagonian, who's prime minister, the then opposition leader, said, we're not supporting this. We're not even going to debate it. We're not taking part in the Joint Select Committee. Nothing to do with this bill. And so the question is, what have changed? What have changed? I know that this period is changing me, because I am finally saying to myself again, you just can't sit down and see nothing, because people like me who know the history, who know the struggle, if we don't teach it, you know, even the Bible, when the people of Israel were taken out of slavery in Egypt, the admonition from God was, teach this to your children, and to your children's children, and they to their children, and to their children's children, so that we will never forget from where we came. And that is part of the problem. A lot of the people in political office, aspiring for political office, they don't have a clue as to where we came from. And therefore, people saying this is new shows how naive they are, because they just don't know. It happens every cycle that a Tobagonian fight for Tobago. Every cycle. And this is not about, as I said earlier, just about Fari. It's about Tobago. This is about Tobago. And all of us have to circle the wagon. We have to decide Tobago is bigger than any individual, than any organization. And therefore, we have to say, let us fix this thing. And then we can fight over it when we have it.
As we prepare to wrap this morning, just to go back to the TTPS matter very quickly, some have raised serious concerns in terms of crime across Trinidad and Tobago. And more specifically, even right here in Tobago, what we have seen as it relates to the elevation of crime. Do you think people are likely to have a greater sense of confidence in the TTPS with what appears to be a focus leaning more towards supporting dealing with road traffic incidents and so on, versus the head-on fight in terms of criminals?
And my question is, have there been an upsurge of road traffic accidents in Tobago? What is the statistical data to prove that? Is there more derelict vehicles or more lawbreakers on the roads of Tobago than there have been in the last year, in the last 5 years? What is this? Is there an upsurge in crime that is directly affected by the movement on the road? What is the reason for all the additional focus on the road, and not on solving murders? Every day you look around, people driving out of the house and drive out of the yard, and people drive right into the yard and kill them. I am not seeing a concentration of more police officers in the Arima area, for example. That is now one of the hotbed of crime activities. And so when people look at those things, they know it has nothing to do with the solving of crime. It has nothing to do with upsurging in road fatalities or incidences of unlawfulness on the road. None of those things apply, because when you see other areas in the country, in this case, places in Trinidad, and you see their crime detection rate, their crime, the amount of murders, it is like, hey, why Tobago? Is that you love Tobago more than you love every other part of the country? So you're trying to make sure that it never comes to Tobago, because that might be an argument. And if that is the argument, and you're saying that the Tobago police is so incompetent, that the Tobago licensing office is so incompetent, that they can't manage it, and if that is the case, is it that the numbers are too small? Is it that you need to increase the strength? Things like those are the solution other than the bombarding of Tobago. I mean, I have never seen Tobagonians so stressed. People saying, but me and going on the license officer down the road. Boy, you have a set of police, and everywhere you go, that is talk. Shouldn't it be, hey, we're talking about internals of government, they're about to debate this. There's additional responsibilities given to Tobago. Tobago is given more money to do the things that we need to do. All the licenses that are denied Tobago, they now have them so that Tobago can do what is necessary to make its own money. Those should be the focus and not the stressing of people, as we see every day. And now I'm not saying that the licensing office and the police don't have the duty. I'm saying there's an undue concentration as it relates to Tobago. And the question is, why is it so focused on Tobago when the rest of the nation have much more problems than Tobago has in the same areas?
Thank you very much there, folks. Ashwood Jack, we got to leave it there this morning, former minority leader of the Tobago House of Assembly, really looking and getting that perspective in terms of some of the issues currently affecting the island. And it doesn't matter where you sit, the vast majority of Tobago have concerns with what's taking place at this point, especially with what appears to be the major incursion, the excessive force happening here in Tobago. And we're really hopeful that these are things that we can get past fundamentally. And Ashwood Jack is calling on Tobago to recognize that this is an issue that goes beyond, we have to look at it beyond the politics and seek to focus on what is best for Tobago in terms of moving things forward. So we say thank you very much again, Ashwood Jack, for joining us here on set this morning. And at this point, viewers, we're heading straight on over to our last interview segment, our final interview segment this morning here on the Tobago Updates morning show. All right. But in fact, just before we go there, we want to take a quick break. So we remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
you flood ready? Recycle and properly dispose of large waste. Avoid sweeping yard clippings or trash into drains. Plant trees to avoid soil erosion. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Book your passage and come on over.
Tapicom. Welcome to the future. The only card you will need in a new world. Digital business cards. Safe, hassle-free. The future is here. Tapicom. New generation digital transfer. Digital time clock cards, digital attendance cards, air tags, customized designs, digital clothing tags, digital pet tags. Tapicom. The future is here. Contact us today.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Yes, be careful.
Honey, I feel I'm going to start to cook, yes, because these children must be hungry now. Right? Okay.
Oh, shucks. Oh. These plugs, oh my gosh.
Hey, Richard, hey, come from there. Come from there.
What's going on in here?
Oh God,
What would you do if this happened to you? Dial 990 in case of fire emergencies and always have a serviceable fire extinguisher ready and available at all times.
Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor. or you can call us on 730-0149, Sales Power Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Are you flood ready? Monitor trusted sources for info. Wear protective gear when you clean up. Contact your insurance provider to assess the damage. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
Johnny,
Call fire.
What's the number? Oh, God.
An emergency, good afternoon. You said the building is on fire. Are there any persons trapped? 4 persons. What is the address of the call, ma'am? Number 4, Candy Drive, Pier Road. Can I have your name, please? Miss Bihari. Thank you, Miss Bihari. I'll be dispatching an appliance. Central Control from Fire Control.
Go ahead, Fire Control. Central Control is really over.
Central Control, have a plans and crew. Respond to our residential fire. Same is at number 4, Candy Drive, Pier Road, Tribonas. 4 persons are trapped, 2 adults, 2 children. They were unable to make contact with fire service, so she called on their behalf.
Transmission received loud and clear. Operator Central Control 3463. Firefighter Wiley, Central Control out.
Create an evacuation plan for you and your family and practice your escape. Always ensure you have more than one way to safely exit your home. Your lives may depend on it.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider TATIL is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider TATIL is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. In this segment, we have on with us George Lickoff, and I think he's actually on site at the moment. George Lickoff, chairman of the THA Task Force. Good morning to you and welcome.
Morning. Well, I hope you're hearing me, right?
Yes.
If you're hearing me, you gotta give me a thumbs up because I'm not hearing you.
All right. So we want to start with just give us a heads up. What's happening today as we continue with the games here taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, and more specifically Tobago?
We are the start now of the triathlon, the sprint triathlon. There are 20 teams, and this is, of course, different to the regular triathlon, where the athletes are, doing all legs of the triathlon. They're going to be switching in between legs. 20 countries are here. There's been an adjustment. We are actually under heat alert. I suppose you can call it a sporting terms heat alert. And that's when there's a particular relationship between the humidity and the temperature. The water temperature is 27 degrees now, I've been told, and the heat is 29. But in terms of the actual heat index, regards to the games, we've actually gotten up to maybe 35 or something like that. As a result, they've cut 1 lap out of the run and 1 lap out of the bike, and they've reduced the length of the swim. After Sunday's event, there were a couple people who have medical attention after Sunday, so that with that they decided to cut back in the interest of safety because they're juniors. Let me remind you as well that today there is volleyball all day at Buku. there is rugby starting at 10 o'clock at Shaw Park, and at 12:15, and I want to suggest that on the dot, netball starts. The game of netball has evolved, the Super 5 netball, very interesting, and all of that. So you have all of that really to look forward to as far as today is concerned.
All right. Mr. Lickoff, we saw an announcement as well, a reminder to some in terms of the games, the access for Shaw Park being free today. Is that across the board in terms of the various games
All
happening?
the events in Tobago, all the events in Tobago going forward are complimentary.
All right, excellent. So that's a call and an encouragement there for the entire turnout. What can we look forward to in the upcoming days, Mr. Lickoff?
Well, we are getting, remember Tobago is basically team sports. So
Correct.
play is done, and they off now to the stage of, all right, where they're doing like semi-finals, finals, that kind of thing. But there are also playoffs going on because we'll do playoffs right down to the last position. In junior sports, you make every opportunity for people to play all the way through so that there's not a question of, say, being eliminated. Even if you eliminated and there are 11 teams in the competition, they'll play off right down to the 11th position so everybody gets a chance to play and be exposed as much as possible. In Tobago today, the president of the Commonwealth Games is in Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Dame Louise is here, as well as the vice president. The local president of the LOC, Douglas Camacho, has been here. And I mean, I can't be as bold as to put them on.
Yes, certainly. We're happy to welcome them here, certainly.
Team Barbados. Tim Armstrong.
Good morning, all.
Good morning to you. And I suspect this is an excellent indication of the support happening here for the Trinidad and Tobago hosting.
Number 18.
So the countdown is taking place for the triathlon, and I'm going to go back to that and leave you to go back to your programming.
All right, thank you very much there again, George Lickoff, chairman of the Tobago Task Force Trinbago 2023 taking place there. And certainly, folks, this is just a gentle reminder. The games are complimentary. All the activities taking place, whether you're at Shaw Park or you're at Buku. So you are encouraged over the next few days to head on out, get involved. Remember, these are historic times happening here in Trinidad and Tobago, the historic hosting of the Commonwealth Youth Games. And you don't want to miss this opportunity. Don't just look on from on the outside. Don't just log in to see what's happening. We want you to actually get out there to the facilities and so on. Take the entire family out as you participate and get involved in the games, whether it's netball, it's rugby, triathlons are happening, whether we're heading to the beach sporting facility there in Blackrock. Just remember, this is your opportunity to really take full advantage. And as has just been mentioned, a reminder, I would say, that at the end of the day, the games are now complimentary. There's no cost attached for the games happening here in Tobago. So remember to head on out to lend your full support. All right, viewers, once again, we want to thank you so much for the continued love and support. This has been the Tobago Updates morning show. All right, and at this point, we're preparing where we'll be heading on into Tobago Notes, and then we head straight on over to GMT. So we say bye-bye for now, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
The popular Black Rock Sea and Pan Festival is back on the calendar, and oh boy, it did not disappoint. The village was awakened to the blowing of the conch shell, signaling the start of the production with the traditional wake-up call at 5 a.m. This was followed by a procession through the streets alongside dancers, drummers, steel pan bands, and fisher folk. Then it was time for the boat christening and popular stain pulling.
I'm pleased with the turnout. For us, it's about learning from this experience today to move forward to bigger and better heritage festivals. These things are part of our culture and we need to keep them.
And so far, I really enjoyed everything, especially like the live music. Yeah, in general, it's just a really nice vibe.
Black Rock welcomed for the first time the addition of a pan festival, which included Cats and Jammers, the pride of Black Rock, and a selection of other Tobago bands.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Summerama, real steam for the summer at standard. Is a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy, standard. What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be deed like a hammer. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more. Standards are what is searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beaten on quality and price. It nice.
Are you looking for a place for your loved ones? Heavenly Care welcomes you. Located at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors, we offer a variety of services. These include doctor visitations, social activities, geriatric care, and much more. Contact us at 277-9595 or visit us at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors. At Heavenly Care, compassion is at the heart of all care.
Right now, Tobagonians are just scurrying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
That created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
Never ever worry, don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry, if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, look up below, 'cause this is your show. More, live more. Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
The United Nations formally proclaimed August 11th as World Steel Pan Day. This Friday, Woodford Square in Port of Spain will host the festivities organized by Pan Tobago, the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, and several other stakeholders. Starting at 5 p.m., the event will showcase 11 single pan bands and 8 large bands, including renowned groups like San Chord, Masters, and BP Renegades. On Sunday, Tobago will host its own celebrations at the Buku Integrated Facility. And cyclist Nicholas Paul secured his second UCI World Championship silver medal, cementing his status as the nation's most accomplished cyclist. In the men's sprint final, Paul was defeated by Olympic champion Harry Leverson in 2 rides, with Leverson clinching his 6th consecutive World Sprint gold medal. Paul initiated the first ride from the lead position and executed an early maneuver. However, he could not withstand Leverson's rapid pace as the Dutchman narrowly beat him at the finish line. Paul's focus will now turn to the upcoming Karen tournament set to commence today. And finally, Machel Montano, renowned as the Soca King, received the keys to the city of Kingston, Jamaica, in recognition of his illustrious musical journey. The honor coincided with Jamaica's Independence Day celebration at the National Stadium on August 6th. During the event, Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness presented Montano with the citation, underscoring that the year marks 61 years of independence for both Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. Holness reiterated the shared Caribbean bond and emphasized that music serves as a unifying force among us. And that was the news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Thing that's at the forefront of every Tobagonian right now is the licensing officers being in Tobago and all that has been said and done over the past week. So in a nutshell, what are your initial reactions to it?
Well, it seems that the country, Candice, good morning Tobagonians, it seems that we on the edge of anarchy, if we are not there as yet. Having said that, the question is, how do we move forward and what are our options moving forward? Mm-hmm. How do we prosecute those options and what are the likely outcomes? So as a student of management, that's how I look at it if I'm going to frame it. That's how I'm going to frame it. Firstly, we want to put on record that 2 things. Act number 8 of 88 gives the Tobago House of Assembly its own public service. There's no debating that again. The constitution that was amended stating that and changing the definition of a public officer and introducing a new definition, one in the service of the government of Trinidad and Tobago and one in the service of the Tobago House of Assembly. That's what the act says. And then you have our own act, Act number 40 of 1996, that clearly says that the Assembly shall in the pursuance of his duties of its business, it can take such decisions and do all acts that are necessary for the better performance of its business. So that's the key. The question is, or we know historically that we had indigenous Tobagonians functioning in the Tobago House of Assembly in licensing. So Tobago has, since the inception of the acts, since way back as Act number 37, has been responsible for licensing. So it's not a new thing. So we have had the experience of prosecuting licensing matters in Tobago. So we need to let the public understand the historical context. And that continued into the new Act, Act number 40 of 1996. And it's there, like customs and all of that. In the period of 1996 to 2001 under Ho-Choi Charles, and that is when I was a secretary, we have had a situation whereby we took charge of those matters under the 5th schedule. We had our own town country division. I introduced certain measures in cooperatives, in labor, and even consumer affairs, because those are entirely new divisions. All right? Because we understood the ethos, we understood what the intent of the legislation to bring for autonomy. Now, having said that, you want to disabuse some people's minds that people keep speaking about greater autonomy. There's no such thing as greater autonomy. Autonomy is autonomy. It has one meaning. You will never see in the dictionary, any serious dictionary, you will never see a term greater autonomy. So I'm hoping that people will stop using the term greater or lesser autonomy, right?
But I mean, when it comes to the licensing officers now, I mean, and just the way they have been operating, because we saw that, you know, the chief secretary said over the weekend that, you know, the licensing officers, like as you rightfully explained, falls under the THA, but it seems as though that they are taking their instructions from elsewhere.
So let's speak to that. So I was framing the historical context to bring us to the present, right? Now, so we have a situation now where licensing officers are coming to Tobago. On the face of the law, of it all, if you were to speak like a lawyer, there doesn't seem to be a legal prohibition of them coming here. Now, the question is, since from 2001 to 2 years ago, when this new team took over, the PNM under Orville London and Ansel Dennis and the rest of them did not take over in the way they could have and should have the responsibilities of town country of licensing. Let me explain. So it's a manpower issue, and acceptance of the role that, hey, I am in charge of the licensing of what the law says. How do you prosecute it? You have people like McKenna and Patrick and all the rest of them, homegrown Tobagonians. But there is an organizational structure. Organizational structure are developed to deal with the exigencies that you have, the vision that you have, and the general social or socio-political or socio-economic conditions of the day. So you have to have manpower to deal with those issues. And clearly, as there were more cars in Tobago, the economy was growing, you expected that the government under Orville London to have responded to those developments, the social developments, the economic development. People will be getting a little bit more affluent, perhaps in parentheses, so they'll buy more cars. And then because you buy more cars, you will have, as the commissioner claims, the transport claims, that vehicle theft and all of those things. So you have to have a manpower to prosecute those things. The PNM administrations did not put the manpower in place. Now, the law says, and the judgments that speak in orbiter, in passing, would question, where is your policy? What is the policy of the Tobago House of Assembly regarding Licensing. Now, you can't blame this administration. They're just there a year and a half, thereabout, and are now getting a full understanding of all those issues that they have to attend to. So they have now, going forward, as per my opening remarks, have to begin to look at the manpower that is needed to properly prosecute their responsibilities under the law.
And what about in terms of, the way how they've been going about this exercise? Because we had the transport commissioner, on with us last week saying that they're just here to educate the people, emphasize, improve the level of safety, because of course, your vehicles need to be up to a certain standard, because if it's not, that could cause dangers out on the road. And he's not wrong for saying that, but the question becomes then, how do you go about educating people in such a way that it does not affect the society as a whole?
Good governance must respond to your economic times and circumstances and social circumstances, so that where you have a situation where you have the Commonwealth Games. Now, I always tell people that how you fire someone or a police officer, how you arrest someone, you always have the power of arrest. You always have the power to fire or to hire, to appoint or disappoint. So 2 weeks down the road will not prohibit the licensing officers or authorities from doing their work. Now, I remember some years ago, you had, in fact, it happened to me, you had to present your owner's certificate, right? And so that if you purchase a ticket, your certificate of ownership will mesh with what the vehicle number and all of that. And it was discontinued. So that the influx of vehicles, had they continued that policy, then you would have arrested certain issues of vehicle theft and vehicles coming into the big. So one of the things that the Assembly should do, working with the Port Authority, because they have authority for wharves and all of that, I am suggesting to the Chief Secretary and his team that they should hold discussions promptly with the Port Authority that vehicles coming into Tobago, you must show your owner's certificate, right? Because I know it used to be a policy. Now, people say it's one country and shouldn't do that. It's like between San Fernando and Shogunas or San Fernando and Port of Spain. But here you're crossing the waters. You have an authority here that says, I'm responsible for wharves. So they can say, our policy going forward, we want to see your owner's certificate, and that will give all the details of the vehicle that you are perhaps driving. If you're driving a rented vehicle or you're driving someone else's vehicle, once you are purchasing that ticket, it will give all the details. So I am suspecting that there have been some kind of malfeasance in the discontinuation of that particular policy. Going back to the manpower issues, in responding to these social challenges and developments of affluence, and people just want to have their own transportation, so you have more information and data to enter into your licensing system or a database. What has to happen is that the Assembly, through the Chief Administrator, who has devolved powers from the DPA, can determine, along with the officials at the DIPU, to fill the vacant positions and determine through an assessment, your manpower assessment or needs of the division, particularly in licensing, how many officers you would need.
And unfortunately, we have not been seeing that. But we're going to take a quick break there. So viewers, please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back and I'll continue our conversations with Mr. Max James.
Summerama, real steam for the summer at standard. Is a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy, standard. What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be beat like a hammer. Go tell a friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more. Standards are what is searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beating on quality and price. It nice.
Are you looking for a place for your loved ones? Heavenly Care welcomes you. Located at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors, we offer a variety of services. These include doctor visitations, social activities, geriatric care, and much more. Contact us at 277-9595 or visit us at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors. At Heavenly Care, compassion is at the heart of all care.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning.
Not just in licensing operations, but in terms of the new Motor Vehicles Act, those new laws that have come into play in recent times. Like we don't really have that being enforced here in Tobago, and then all we have is a group of officers coming to Tobago for 6 to 8 days at a time and causing disruptions in the place.
Right, and hence what I said at the opening, in my opening remarks, we're heading towards anarchy if we're not there, right? And clearly we are at that point. So let's close on that point of the manpower. Succession planning, manpower succession planning, to be more specific, there's a dearth of that throughout the country.
Mm-hmm.
But it is particularly disturbing that after 15 to 20 years in power, the PNM administration did not see it fit to have the necessary succession planning in place in terms of manpower, so that with the emergence of these new pieces of legislation, you need more staff. You have to fill the vacancies that were left by officers who exited the service based on their retirement age.
Mm.
So that I wager that all of the licensing officers down at Milsherv are Trinidadians. Now, we're not being insular, but the fact is that you need homegrown persons who are accustomed to your culture and the way of doing things. You want to develop an indigenous labor force within the division as far as possible, so that where you don't have the skills here, then you ask for the skills elsewhere. The chief administrator has devolved powers to her. In this case, it's a woman, and the chief secretary, who she reports to, she needs to be given instructions to do the research in solving the manpower issues. Now, if you solve the manpower issues, you would not have to have officers coming from Trinidad. Because so when you have the power, you have to have the political will, you have the money in your votes, or you could wire and transfer the money. So I think that going forward, that's what the Executive Council needs to do, to instruct the chief administrator along with the secretary of DIPU to get the manpower issues resolved. And that way, you will not see 10 and 15 white shirts coming to Tobago. We'll have our
Certainly.
own local, homegrown white shirts here.
If you, I mean, just a cursory glance at what's been happening over the last few weeks, whether it be the licensing officers in Tobago, the actions of the police, and so on, what is one word you can use to summarize all of that?
I think it's unfortunate, unfortunate from all sides. I kind of feel the regular police officer is empathetic or sympathetic, whichever way, to what is happening. I think it's the decision makers in Trinidad who don't understand that we have things here to do. In fact, you're seeing that businesses are not thriving over the last 2 weeks up to now because people are at home, people are not coming to some hide and seek.
How did it affect your business in particular?
Sales were low. And then you compound that with the fact that people are at the games. So it's a double whammy on business activity. And it certainly is not a good thing. You want to do your policing, let's do it in a particular way. You want to do your regulation of the traffic and ownership and theft and so on. If you signal to the population, a man has a stolen vehicle, perhaps he knows it's a stolen vehicle, and you are signaling that to him that you come in to look for stolen vehicles. So when the commissioner makes that point, he's absolutely crazy. Because I will just stay at home.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to come in town or travel anywhere because you already signaled that you're coming to look for a stolen vehicle.
And then how would, in terms of like how the police has been acting and the messaging that's coming from our ACP stating that he doesn't need permission to operate in Tobago or to bring officers over, you know, how would you describe, like, what are your views on those statements coming from our ACP?
Well, I know, to be honest, I know the ACP quite well. I can't really have a valid criticism of the fact that he's saying I don't need the permission. One thing is missing, however. What I think he could have tempered the statements and a bit more diplomatic and to say, well, we are working with the Chief Secretary and the Tobago House of Assembly, and we are cooperating in the whole question of licensing and protecting the situation regarding the theft of vehicles and all of that. So I think that he could have been a little bit more diplomatic. He's correct. I mean, academically he's correct. But I think that we need to develop a solid platform where all of the authorities work with the Chief Secretary. He is the head of the government here. And he's not an ordinary citizen. He's not an ordinary man. And therefore, I think that how we communicate and to say that I have the authority, I think that where the police fell down, right? In that, yes. Because it breeds a certain kind of, it puts us in a very difficult situation. The regular man saying, look, our Chief Secretary is being disrespected. And I think that the communication could have been different.
All right, and that's the point where we're going to have to leave our conversation this morning. I want to thank you so much, Mr. James, for being on with us and giving us your perspectives on all of these things that are happening here in Tobago. Right? So viewers, please don't go anywhere because we've got a lot more coming up for you still on GMT. So back after the break.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
Never ever worry, don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry, if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below. is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look out below, 'cause this is your show.
Jade Monkey.
Stand tall.
We celebrate a living legend, Curtis Garant, the Outer International General Garant.
As I send me on a mission, as a banter.
Garanti.
Give me now. The shot call. In the dance.
On the 6th of August, it's a celebration with the General Grant, and he's coming with his friends, Gordonite, Ziggy Rankin, Ice Sasha, and Prophet Benjamin. Your DJs, Trendsetter Goofy, and Adjacent G Artistry, Dreads International. Admission only $100 at the door. You pay more. Get your tickets now at Jade Monkey Bar, Barcode, Happy Place Bar, and Pablo's.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
When we are getting into the local government elections, and to speak to us about some of what's happening in Trinidad with us concerned, we have Nikosi Phillips, political leader of the Unity of the People, on set with us. Good morning and welcome to you, Nikosi.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning to Tobago Updates, and good morning to you, Candace. Good morning.
All right. So you are on the ground campaign. We've been seeing you going hard at it in Trinidad. Tell me how it is.
It is great. As I said before, the warming in Trinidad is different. It's welcoming compared to the warming I'm getting here. I'm not being biased. But, you know, we didn't come up against any negativity. And persons who are reluctant, you know, they have the mentality of the one-party system. They would still take the time to listen to us. They will pray for us. And, you know, they will have people praying for us, and they're praying for my candidate and myself. So it has been good. It has been warming and welcoming so far.
All right. And then, I mean, just to remind us as to what are the areas you guys are competing?
We just have one candidate, which is Miss Afia Griffith. She'll be contesting the electoral district of Buk Mulatrase and Febu Village. It's pronounced Borg Mulatrase, how we Tobagoans will pronounce it. But I was told in the district, pronounce it as Buk Mulatrase. I'll leave it like that, and Febu Village. So she's doing good so far. We have a lot of number of interviews this morning, right up to the elections. Yesterday, she finished like after 10, 11 last night, going from mailbox to mailbox, even though, you know, she's at it. And the team is at it, and I think so I'll be joining her on Thursday to close it off. And I think on Friday or Saturday, we want to do something totally different, whereby we're supposed to do not a motorcade, but something to bring the people together. What we're doing is to have a candlelight prayer session. And we will be inviting all the political parties or opponents to come on board for that session in the Lacano area, to let's just have a day of prayer for all the candidates that are going forward in the election. So we want to do something totally different.
And that's very interesting. Why? What would have sparked that?
Because I'm seeing so much of negativity with the political leaders, you know, bashing on each other. The UNC leader against the Prime Minister, Gary Griffith talking against Philip Alexander. This is not what local government election is about. Local government election is supposed to be about the candidates. And we're not hearing the candidates. And even though you hear the candidates on 1 or 2 out of 141, you see them stuttering because their speeches were not written. So I'm trying to bring the consensus to the people that the local government election, it has to be about the candidate and not the political parties with the rivalry and the negativity and all the slinging. And that's not what it's supposed to be about. And that's why we've been having a low voter turnout for this local government election, because people are not sensitized as to what it is. My candidate and I have to go through the blocks and explain to the young men what it is, because they think that voting for her will give her a job, she will get a job for them, she will get this. No, we had to tell them about the local government, what it is about as a councillor. So I think the education is not there, because the rhetorics that I use on the platform, it's not speaking to and about local government election, you're talking about the party leaders continue to bash each other.
What is one of the things that you learned so far for this election campaign for the local government elections? What has it taught you about just politics in general and what the people need?
It has taught me if you don't have a good shoulder, a strong backing, and a spiritual and mental power, you will never survive in politics. That's one. Two, it also teaches me that we have a lot of work to do in constitutional reform because, as I said before, we should not have governments outgoing or ingoing using the state resources to buy candidates or to buy voters. And that is what is happening in this election in Trinidad. We also have persons who are requesting stuff, and the desensitization, it has taught me a lot, and it has taught me that the Trinidad space is a total different cultural dynamic compared to Tobago. It is totally different. But
and what stands out to you as being different?
The fight is real. The fight is real. These people are playing. These people serious about the politics. And you know what happened? What I've learned is that these boys on the block, they are fully educated about politics. I could tell you that. Because on 2 points we went on some of the block areas. This young man, I know some of them could actually tell me when I started politics, what I was doing before the politics, and they say, oh, we're researching you, we know you're going to the UN. They know. Because I think they have an invested interest. Yes, they want to get jobs and stuff, but I think some of them are aware of what the party is about and what we're putting across. And the only thing about it is that the bribery. Because some of them are saying, oh, we're getting this, we're getting that from the other parties. And I'm seeing it actually happen on the ground, where people are getting things and people are being persuaded to vote. But as I said, Trinidad is a total different space. This is our first time, and I'm glad that I only have one candidate to test the waters. But for general elections, I think I will be ready, because now I'll have a feeling of what to expect in this local election. I think the EBC also, the returning officers, they have been nice. They have been sending information, they have been calling, they have been making sure that we know, okay, we have this special voting. Trinidad is nice. It's a different totally ball game. There's no level sense of biasness. The only thing is that, as somebody just said this morning, we're seeing a lot of you in Trinidad space in the Trinidad media, but nothing in Tobago. And I said that is totally not up to me. If Tobago updates don't come with an update, people will not know. But what about the other media houses which have been very biased? And I speak clearly. If Tobago updates don't call me, the rest of media houses wouldn't come, and that's not a problem. But I know when the election comes around and they want an interview, they will go find a spirit to do the interview, because I wouldn't be doing it. But when Tobago updates call me, I'll be always willing to give an interview to you.
And we certainly appreciate that. But you know, when you out there, I mean, what are your prospects for this election? And you said that you're testing the waters. What are you expecting?
Well, so far the response is very good. The response is good. It's all left up to the people. We have done what we're supposed to do. We still have, walking around to do. We have covered the grounds of where she has to vote. One of the things that I would have started, we have confirmed 200 online scholarship that has been sponsored by Bismarck Technology, the persons we launched the health cards with.
Yes.
We're not going to launch the program before the elections. We don't want it to look as an election gimmick. We have confirmed that in writing, everything. So after the election, win, lose or draw, we are going to continue working in her area. I've also put together a river cleanup gang, because there are places in her community that the rivers that needs to be cleaned up. So we're going to try to do it as an employment process for persons in the community, the young men who don't have a job. We're also looking at finding, I'm going to put the food hamper drive within her area. I'm also putting some social programs that I've listed here in Tobago space that will work in the community. So we have a lot of things in place for the community of Lacano, and as time go by, it will happen. The work does not stop here. When she wins as councillor, the work now begins. But we, as the political party that is running and fueling her, we have to also make sure that she has a lot of initiatives for the community outside of being a councillor for the Sawa Laventille Regional Corporation.
And certainly, and then earlier in the interview, you said that one of the things you're doing this weekend is to have a special day of prayer and candlelight service with the other candidates as well. Is this an indication that win, lose or draw, that your candidate, Mr. Fia Scott, is going to be working with the other candidates that were contested to make sure that you can really reach all the people in your community?
Yes, so far she I sent some pictures with you. She met with the UNC candidate, she met with the PDP candidates, some of the other candidates in the party. She had a dialogue with them and stuff, and she's pushing it because she knows that I'm not playing, and we are about unity and there's no negativity. At the beginning there was that party with the negativity, and we dealt with that part, but we have to make sure I'm preparing her for bigger things. And win, lose or draw, I am glad that she has a spirit. I tell her she will call me 2 o'clock in the morning. Listen, I have a project to do and I want to do this. I said, Afia, you need to go to sleep. Leave that to me. But she is persistent. And let me tell you something, Candace, I mean real. And many times I wanted to give up, but because of her and because of the support that I'm getting from people in Trinidad space, the only thing that they're saying, oh God, we wish you had more candidates. But it's not me. And I said when we had screening, and next time I'm going to have a media person in the screening, people were asking for money. And what we're getting, and if I win, they want this and they want that and they want house and land. It's ridiculous. And I'm asking, you're asking me for that. But you won't go ask PNM and UNC what you're getting, maybe you're getting whatever you're getting. But you wouldn't do that in a screening. So we had to do what we had to do. She was persistent, ongoing, even though being the lone candidate. And you know what we said? As the political leader and our team and executive, we decided to push her, and we never regret it. We have no regrets at all, period. It is going so amazing.
And if it's one message that you want to leave with the people in terms of, just what's going to happen over the next few days leading up to Monday, what would you like to say to them?
My honest message to the citizens first is think twice. You made mistakes in the past. Don't allow the mistakes to catch up with you for the future. You have choices. You have an opportunity for change. Be a vehicle of that change and don't allow the change to bribe you to become change. Also, a message to the political leaders. It's not about you. It's not about us. It's about the local government election, local government reform, and the councillors that are, or the candidates that are vying. Come off this crappy horse that you're all pulling on each other and bashing each other. The people of Trinidad and Tobago are suffering mentally, physically, and financially. And for you to continue to have that level of negativity, it's not making an augur well for Trinidad and Tobago, because people are looking on at you as leaders. When you're talking about Pulamatic and Lego your clips and all them nonsense, it's not good. Forget about yourself and let the candidates speak. Let the people see who they're voting for. And that is the message. And I just want people to wake up and smell the coffee and see that it's time for the candidates to come forward and let us see what we're putting ourselves in this local government election. And I wish them all the best. I wish all my opponents all the best for this election. I want it to become a clean election going forward. But as you see, we're dealing with big people with little children mentality.
And that's exactly where we're going to have to leave this conversation this morning. I want to thank you so much, Nikosi Phillips, for being on with us and giving us an update on what's been happening in Trinidad. Certainly an interesting feat, a remarkable feat for yourself, being able to take your political your political goals and everything to Trinidad as well, and to include that fully into unity of the people.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
All right, viewers, so we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back, so don't you go anywhere.
Are you flood ready? Recycle and properly dispose of large waste. Avoid sweeping yard clippings or trash into drains. Plant trees to avoid soil erosion. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago.
Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Book your passage and come on over.
Tapicom. Welcome to the future. The only card you will need in a new world. Digital business cards. Safe, hassle-free. The future is here. Tapicom. New generation digital transfer. Digital time clock cards, digital attendance cards, air tags, customized designs, digital clothing tags, digital pet tags. Tapicom. The future is here. Contact us today.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Yes, be careful.
Honey, I feel I'm going to start to cook, yes, because these children must be hungry now. Right? Okay.
Oh, shucks. Oh. These plugs, oh my gosh.
Hey, Richard, hey, come from there. Come from there.
What's going on in here?
Oh God, boy.
What would you do if this happened to you? Dial 990 in case of fire emergencies and always have a serviceable fire extinguisher ready and available at all times.
Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace Afternoon.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are being joined on set now by Mr. Anthony Lee, the founder of Gifted Hands Foundations, as well as Ms. Donnelly, the director of Gifted Hands Foundation. Good morning and welcome to you both.
Good morning to you. Welcome.
So before we get into the meat of the conversation this morning, first of all, tell us, what is Gifted Hands Foundation?
All right, so Gifted Hands Foundation is actually a foundation that we had started in 2018. And the vision was to reach the less fortunate, to do hampers, go out and do groceries, meet the needs of the people, and do that kind of charity work. And so we had, we started that based on the need that we saw in the community. We were in Canby, where we started, right? And so we saw the need, and then we started to advance the need, right? So we came into, now we are doing something bigger and something more meaningful and more directive. Yeah.
So I'm assuming here that bigger and more meaningful has to do with this grill and praise from block to block.
Yes. Grill praise.
Unpack that, because there's a lot of big words in that. There's a lot of action words in that, I should say.
Yes.
So let's unpack the grill and praise from block to block.
Let me let my wife do the honors.
Grill praise. Well, grill praise is, well, we are accustomed doing barbecue and stuff at home. So we decided that we would take it further, spread the love on the block with the guys, the youths. It's meant to bring the youths together, to kind of get the off the block thing now, to kind of bring them a unity, to bring a unity. So it's about doing barbecue. We're having a barbecue on the block itself, and we are praising God.
Wow,
so that's grill praise.
And which block are you guys going to be doing this on?
So it's really starting at Bethany, right? Robert Trace, because I think we all would know the Akeem, the guy who got killed. So this sparked this initiative, right? The block is something that people reject. There are a lot of hurting young men on the block. And when we went out there, I went out there and I began to interact with them. And I realized that there's that void, that need, right? So that is what sparked Grill Praise, right? It's to show the love, right? It's free, right? We grill in for free. We're having music, we're having artists coming, we're having a lot of giveaways and spot your talent. They could come and sing, they could come and... So the whole idea is to create that love and that unity on the block. So, yeah.
To draw them closer to God. Yeah.
Yes. That spiritualness is very important.
So we have Jovitan from the Trinidad movement in Trinidad, right? He's coming as well to be a part of the move, and Garden Night, and we have Normally, right? And so we have some big...
So is this going to be something that you're going to be doing on a regular?
Right. So we're moving it from block to block, right? So we are starting it in Bethany because that's where we believe that we're supposed to do first, because that's our hometown, right? And then we are taking it to another area. So like we might have Black Rock, we might have Bethel, we might Plymouth, so where there's a block, we will be there. We Grill Praise will be there.
Out. It's coming to you.
Yeah. Right?
And then what inspired you to choose, addressing or trying to reach the people that are on the block?
Okay. Well, I've been in ministry for a while, for over 20 years. And we have been doing ministry from what we call the conventional way, right? Indoor, coming to church, going to church, and that kind of thing, that. And we realize that the youth today they're not reaching them, all right? So the method has to change. The approach has to be different, but the message could remain the same. You understand? So really and truly, it's just when I saw that young man the early morning, right? I was going to work, I passed him, right, Akim, and I saw him early morning selling water, 6 o'clock, and by midday, he was dead, right? That sparked something in me, right? And I felt as living in a community, all right, we lost a son, we lost a brother, we lost, and it can't just go along like normal. So that is how Grill Praise came about, right?
And is this the first time that you're doing something like this on the block?
Yeah, first time? First time that we're having Grill Praise on the block. People say it's dangerous. It's not. It's a good idea, but it's risky. But then again, when we think about where the light's supposed to be, where we're supposed to shine the light, we're supposed to actually go on to make a difference. And what I'm saying is that on the block, you hear a lot of positivity, a lot of things that that affecting them, but they don't have no avenue to express themselves, right? So it's a family, when you really check it out, the block is a family, right? And that's how they get the love. So what we are doing is that we are trying to spread it in a different way, all right? There's no alcohol. There's no, we're not selling alcohol. It's clean, it's positive, and it's free.
So in other words, like a long-time blocko.
Oh, yes. Like how it used to. So and then the villagers, we went around.
We want the community to be involved also.
Right. We went, the villagers, when we told them about what's going to happen, and they said they want to bring a dish, everybody want to bring something. So the highlight will be that people will come out and get things for free. Grill is for free. Everything. We're doing everything basically for free. All right. So what we are saying is that we want people to sponsor the idea, sponsor the initiative. Understand that this is something that could curb the crime. All right. We could stop something from happening. You don't know.
Yeah.
Right. We go on the block and they're planning something. Bam. They feel I ain't going. Change our plans. They feel touched, they feel loved.
And so how can people get in touch with you if they want to help?
Right, so there are numbers that you can call. All right, you can call 339-1418, all right, and 295-5443. All right, and this is where you can reach us, and so that you can say, listen, I want to be a part of Grill Praise.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's happening when and where again?
So it's on the 12th, that's Saturday, right, at Robert Trace in Bethany, right? And so as you come into Robert Trace, well, of course, you will hear everything, all right? So,
and smell the food.
And smell the grill, you will, yeah. So it's going to be an exciting time. It's first ever, and we believe that it's needed. Right, it's needed for more than many reasons, right? Because of the crimes that we are seeing happening in Tobago, and so we have to do something, right? Positive, right? Everybody is saying, no, to get them nothing. Do they always want the block there? They always want handout, but that's not the case. You're not giving this handout. We coming with a message. These artists who are coming, they understand what is happening, and they decided to come out and join, and be a part. So this could be something very big, and it's been spread.
And certainly a very unique idea, and we're looking forward to see, what impact that can have, and I wish you all the success.
Yes.
So, yeah, so
it's all about spreading the love, so.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm just going to give you just a 30 seconds just to tell people why they need to be there on Saturday.
Well, it's because it's a community effort, all right? And we are doing this to get the community to come together, because long ago everybody raised a child, right? So the idea is that we need to get back that narrative. We need to come back to that place. You understand? See the young men on the block. Talk to them. Encourage them. Do something positive. Let us see that we care, and that is why we are doing this. So on Saturday, we are saying, to the community, come out, you understand, and be a part of this move, because it is something that is going to benefit all of us, All right, so
Definitely.
basically
Let us
that's
spread
what
the
we're
love
here.
together.
You know,
Definitely looking forward for it. So, and thank you so much for being
Yes.
on with us and for sharing such a wonderful idea. And I wish you all the best of luck and lots of success.
Thank
you so much.
All right. Well, viewers, that's how we're going to have to wrap this morning's show. I want to thank you for viewing. It's certainly been my pleasure being with you this morning. So I hope you have a safe and wonderful day. And don't forget to take a trip out to some of the Commonwealth Games. It's free, don't you know? So go on experience and support our athletes, not just from here, but from the Caribbean and the rest of the Commonwealth. Have a good day and see you tomorrow.
Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.